Sheep's Head in West Cork, above Bantry Bay, is a designated special area of conservation. I'm going to see how the natural assets of this area are being protected by the people who live here. The local community have just won a major European Destination of Excellence award for their creation of the Sheep's Head Walkway. I'm in Kilcrahan in West Cork to meet with Ger Burke, chairman of the local Sheep's Head Way Committee. Ger has just arrived back from Brussels after picking up the Eden Prize for environmental tourism. What has it meant for the community to win this amazing award?
Tourist business is well up in the area this year as a result of winning the award.
What do you think impressed the judges mostly about the area?
The measures which have been taken to protect the area where the walk goes through. The walk doesn't wander all over the place, which would interfere with the plants or the birds which are protected.
The Sheep's Head Way is a fully marked 88-kilometre route. I'm starting out from the north of the peninsula. Do you know why it's called the Sheep's Head, by the way?
People tell me if you look at it, it just looks like a sheep.
Is that why you have all the sheep?
There's a local pottery here, so Duno Crafts, so that's where I get all my pottery.
I know Duno Crafts. If you can give me your tips and show me here on the map, that'd be great. The Sheep's Head Way community designed daily walks with an average length of about 10 kilometres. The walks bring you through a variety of protected landscapes, habitats, archaeology, flora and fauna. Humans have managed this landscape for thousands of years, so each generation needs to pass it on to the next generation in the best state we can. This mountain here behind me is Sea Fin. I was looking for Finn McCool's seat because I heard it was around here somewhere. And then I realised that the whole mountain is his seat. And in a minute now I'll be going down along Pekin Ridge and I'll be meeting another Finn who's a local dairy farmer who's going to tell me more about farmers' involvement in the walk. I'm curious to know what involvement local farmers had in the setting up of the walks across their lands. I'm visiting Finn O'Mahony, whose father James was one of the first farmers to set up the walk. How are you?
Very good, welcome to Sheep's Head.
Tania, thank you.
You're doing a bit of walking?
Yeah.
Oh, very good, very good. You have a perfect day for it.
I know, I'm looking forward to it. Were you and every farmer in the area asked to get involved in this?
Yeah, a lot of farmers were involved in actually physically putting the walk together at the start, and then every farmer had to sign up and give permission.
They had to?
They had to, and it's, I suppose from a farmer's point of view, it's important that your rights are respected, that you are asked. You know, that if someone comes in and plonks in a few walking markers through your land, you know, that you have a right to ask, and you have a right to refuse.
Is it tough to be a farmer, like if you have a specially protected area that you're in?
The big thing is really that you keep farming the way you are and that you sustain the habitat. Things like, you can't remove old stone fences or earthen banks close to the edge of the cliffs, because they would be kind of an important part of habitat for the chough as well.
And is the chough a very, like a special bird to hear, a particular bird for this area?
It would be all the west coast of Ireland, really. They'd be known, the Irish name would be Coggeen Costarag. It's basically like a crow with red legs and a red beak. And they've been documented here, you know, in kind of open green fields. They would be, you know, picking up insects and stuff like that at certain times of year, and they have nesting sites as well.
So there's 300 farms whose land you can walk through?
Yeah, like starting in Bantry out to the tip of Sheep's Head and back along, it takes about 5 days to walk the full walk. The most recent development have been loop walks. Even on the farm here now, there's an old fisherman's path, so I've kind of brought that in as well. There's actually a few stones down here, so you might give me a hand to...
Yeah, sure.
This is part of kind of work we'd be doing just up there, yeah. Perfect. It's just, I suppose, part of the work that you would do on the walk is kind of maintenance, kind of checking things like that, making sure that everything's okay for walkers and that there's no rubbish along the walk and stuff like that, you know. Most walkers are quite kind of respectful of the walk and that, and you know, it's kind of, I suppose, that's what we like about the nature of this kind of tourism, is that they're people who, it's the last thing they would do. They're here walking because they love nature and they're not going to destroy it. You know, I wouldn't have anything against coach tours, but like, I suppose we've seen the benefit of not kind of having, you know, 50 tourists arriving in one spot at the one time in mass tourism, and you know, kind of the sheer numbers of it and that.
Finn explained to me that it is important that walkers in the area leave nothing but footprints, take nothing but memories, and kill nothing but time. That's cool. Lusitania Flora are one of the protected plants in this landscape. These plants, like St. Patrick's cabbage, are found in southwest Ireland as well as Spain and Portugal, but are absent from Britain and France. Some say this helps to prove that Spain in ancient times was directly connected to Ireland. Much of the Sheep's Head Way, especially at the western area where I am now, is heathland. The ground near the cliffs is usually a thin layer of peat over rocky soil. This is also a great place to spot whales and dolphins. Early autumn is the best time of year for whale watchers to train their eyes on the horizon.
Hi.
What are you doing?
I've been watching a group of dolphins out here for the last little while.
But is this a particular spot where you'd see whales and dolphins?
It seems to be the southwest is particularly strong. We have, regular visits of humpbacks, fin whales, the common dolphin. These animals are bigger than any of the dinosaurs that have ever been on Earth. These are enormous animals, much bigger than, an elephant. If we had a herd of elephants passing the coast, everybody would be getting out to watch.
Is that a boat or a whale?
Boat.
What are good tips for whale and dolphin watching?
Well, particularly I watch the birds. If there's a group of birds feeding, it means there's a lot of food there. The best time to be looking is when the water is calm. Anything that causes a splash or a wave or even a glint of sunlight that's particularly strong, because when these animals rise up out of the water and go back down again, the water on their back gives a particularly strong glint, I find, from the sunlight.
Do you think this area has a lot of tourism potential in whale watching?
Well, I think it does. I think the walking trails are fantastic, and I think if people were aware of what they could see out in the sea when they're going on a walk, to take a pair of binoculars and to stop and sit down for 10 or 15 minutes when you're out near a headland or on a cliff somewhere. I've been to New Zealand and to Kaikoura, and I've been to Australia and Chile and Canada. And at times the whale watching here is just as good as anywhere.
This journey has taught me how human settlement has both changed and stayed the same over time. The people of Sheep's Head are a perfect example of how to secure the future of a specially protected area. Joining the local community in Kilcrahan as they celebrate their award was a perfect end to my trip.
Oh, well, it was a great experience to be one of the 22 countries which received the award. We were probably different from the point of view. It was privately owned land, and it was a community-based initiative, the setting up of the Sheep's Head Way.